Gentleman is recognized.
Despite all the concern about global climate change and climate warming and melting of the glaciers, and the last great glacier did melt and retreat some 10,000 years ago, every November it makes a comeback in the northern tier states, especially on the Great Lakes. And as the cold winds sweep down from the Arctic regions across Canada, and the ice gathers on the shores and extends across, still occasionally, although it's been several years, Lake Superior does freeze completely over. And when it doesn't freeze completely over, the ice sheet extends a long distance out from the shoreline, clogging the navigation channels, channels, I'm sorry, channels is what I intended to say, clogging the navigation channels, making transit difficult on Sault Ste. Marie, St. Mary's River, and down into the lower lakes, where from mid-November through mid-January, and then again in early spring, our Great Lakes bulk carriers must make that transit to deliver iron ore to the steel mills in the lower lake ports, and coal from the Powder River Basin in Wyoming, Montana, that comes by unit train to the ports of Duluth and Superior, and transit that coal to lower lake coal facilities at the lowest cost, most energy efficient, most environmentally friendly means of moving bulk commodities, our waterway. And this great waterway of the Great Lakes is absolutely critical. During the 2006-2007 winter season, 10.5 million tons of iron ore moved during the winter shipping season. That ore supports 100,000 jobs at lower lake steel mills, 300,000 jobs at associated industries. In the same winter months, some 6.5 million tons of coal were shipped on the Great Lakes to supply the power plants in lower lake communities with their coal facilities. But we don't have enough ice-breaking capacity to keep those channels open, to keep the ports open, to escort vessels through the heavy ice era in the fall and in the early spring. The Coast Guard, which does its very best with the Mackinac and some smaller harbor icebreakers, has made a valiant effort. But the shippers on the Great Lakes, and particularly this past season, said they have frequently had a laker moving out, but impeded by ice. The Mackinac could break a channel, but then it would be on call in the lower lake ports, and the smaller harbor icebreakers couldn't keep the channel open for those 60,000-ton vessels to move iron ore or aggregate or sand and gravel or limestone that's needed in the iron ore production process. And so the clear call from Great Lakes port and shipping and shipper interests has been add an icebreaker, a real companion to the Mackinac. The previous Mackinac icebreaker was built in 1940, served 60 years, and finally was gracefully retired, but its replacement simply can't be in two places at once. If we're going to keep our economy moving and economy functioning effectively, we need that ice-breaking capability in the upper lakes and the lower lakes, often at the same time on the same days. So with two icebreakers, our Great Lakes economy will be able to function effectively. I reserve the balance of my time, Madam Speaker.